The conference that is bringing together local, regional, and international scientists, wildlife managers, policy and decision makers in the wildlife sectors, development and conservation partners, and other stakeholders will provide insights on a wide range of issues and challenges in the wildlife sector, including changes in wildlife population trends and dynamics, wildlife habitat restoration and connectivity, climate change mitigation and adaptability. Other challenges include human-wildlife coexistence and natural capital accounting systems and payment for ecosystem services for socioeconomic benefits, among others. In addition, it will act as a channel for disseminating information gathered internally and externally through wildlife research. I look forward to being appraised on the outcomes of the conference. I will expect to be informed how the outcomes will contribute in guiding policy development and decision-making to address the emerging needs and threats in wildlife conservation and management. I will also expect that the conference will inform measures the government can implement in order to enhance optimizing benefits from the wildlife resource to the Kenyan people in line with government's bottom-up economic transformative agenda. Wildlife resources, ladies and gentlemen, are key drivers of the tourism industry, which is the second largest foreign exchange earner for the country. I recognize the existing wildlife regulatory frameworks and policies the government has established in order to transform the wildlife sector, a key enabler in the achievement of the country's economic blueprint, the Vision 2030. Among these are the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the wildlife that the country has ratified. Whereas these legal frameworks and policies have served the country well, we are experiencing unprecedented challenges in the wildlife sector. Diseases and loss of genetic viability, poaching for trophies and bushmeat, infrastructural development, human encroachment into wildlife areas, among others. These challenges have resulted to significant declines in wildlife populations across the country. It will be important to re-examine our laws and policies and the extent to which they will serve us into the future. In this regard, I direct the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife and Heritage to submit a report to me in the next 1 month on a roadmap towards the enacted of a broader conservation policy and law with other relevant sectors. In addition, the Ministry should submit a report to my office in the same period on the relevance of the National Wildlife Strategy and the wildlife policy and whether their review is necessary. It is critical that the government harmonizes the existing policies and legal frameworks for them to be responsive to the needs of the wildlife sector and for improved service delivery to the Kenyan people. Ladies and gentlemen, the country recently hosted the first African Climate Change Summit that delved on the many challenges this phenomenon is causing to Kenya, the region, and Africa at large. Various interventions were recommended. In line with the National Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation Strategy, I urge the Ministry in a participatory approach involving key stakeholders to finalize and implement the National Wildlife Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation Strategy, and that I understand is in a draft format. Such a strategy is important in ensuring we take appropriate actions to safeguard our natural resources for posterity. The government's vision is to enhance wildlife conservation as part of a strong environmental foundation for achieving Kenya's sustainable development agenda. In line with the provisions in the Constitution, the government also envisages to engage all Kenyans in recognizing the value of our wildlife and embracing their role in its conservation through appropriate collaborative initiatives. The government also recognizes the need for evidence-based decision-making and emphasizes the importance of knowledge, information, and human capital for successful conservation. It also calls for decision support tools for adaptive management and promotes data sharing, use, and integrated cross-sectoral and multi-scale planning for conservation and sustainable development. To this end, the Institute is expected to enhance knowledge through research on the status of the country's wildlife and their potential to facilitate, optimize benefits, and provide quality and comprehensive wildlife data and information to inform policy formulation. The government, therefore, has a lot of expectation that the Institute shall coordinate and undertake relevant research that will guide the wildlife conservation sector. We expect to get innovative approaches to addressing the myriad challenges, including issues of wildlife corridors and ecosystems connectivity. We also expect that the collaborative with other relevant government ministries, the Institute shall contribute to tapping from the blue economy and carbon financing in protected areas, among others. I recognize that as a new institution that is still in its infancy, you may not have all the relevant research and training infrastructure, sufficient funding, and expertise. The Cabinet Secretary is directed to work with relevant ministries and departments in government to ensure the Institute is well-resourced to fulfill the important mandate that has been bestowed onto it by the Kenyan people.
To see you after a long time. Last time I believe was on MTV. Before Vigo's opening ceremony of this first Wildlife Scientific Conference 2023 of tourism, wildlife and heritage. Last time I'd like to also acknowledge the presence of the chair of various public institutions. On our Prime Cabinet Secretary, we have those from the US, from the UK, joining in. We appreciate you coming for the opening ceremony. Chair will award these. There's one for Honorable Penina Malonza and one for the Prime Cabinet Secretary. The chair is shaking it to check the weight. Yeah, we see kuna shuka. Yes, yes. I don't think we'll see what else is there, but we have the report. Yes. Asante sana. Let's give a hand as the Prime Cabinet Secretary receives his gift And the photo up there, of course, that they would also like to receive the gift, and also to Madam Penina Malonza, who gets her gift as a cabinet secretary. Na nimesikia hiyo ripoti inahitajika in 1 month's time, so there's another one to be made very soon. Asante.